In the summer of 2013, a group of friends decided to camp near the picturesque Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. The serene location promised a perfect retreat, but it quickly turned into a chilling nightmare. The group set up their tents in a remote area, far from other campers. The first night was filled with laughter and storytelling around the campfire. As the night grew darker, the friends settled into their tents. Around 2 a.m., one of the campers, Lisa, heard rustling sounds outside. Thinking it was a deer, she ignored it and went back to sleep. The next morning, they found strange, barefoot tracks around their campsite that led deep into the forest. Unease set in, but they decided to stay, dismissing it as a prank or an animal. The second night, the atmosphere was tense. As they sat around the campfire, they heard twigs snapping and saw a shadow moving between the trees. Armed with flashlights, they searched the area but found nothing. Later that night, while everyone was asleep, Lisa woke up to a cold breeze and saw her tent zipper slowly moving. She screamed, waking everyone. They found no one outside but noticed that their food and supplies had been rifled through. Feeling unsafe, they packed up and decided to leave at dawn. As they hiked back, they saw a figure in the distance, watching them from the woods. When they reported the incident to the park rangers, they were shocked to learn that there had been numerous reports of a man living in the forest, stalking campers. The friends never went camping again, haunted by the memory of the uninvited guest who watched them from the shadows. In the summer of 2008, a family vacation at Lake Lanier in Georgia turned tragic when a young boy disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The lake, already notorious for its dark history, added another chilling chapter to its legend. The Thompson family rented a cabin near the scenic Lake Lanier. They spent the day swimming and boating, enjoying the sunny weather. 12-year-old Jamie was an avid swimmer and loved exploring the lake. Despite warnings about dangerous underwater currents and hidden debris, he ventured out alone on an inflatable raft. Around noon, Jamie paddled out to the middle of the lake. His parents watched him from the shore but became alarmed when they saw his raft overturn. Panicking, they called for help and swam out to where the raft had capsized. Despite a thorough search by rescue divers, Jamie was nowhere to be found. 3 days later, Jamie's body was discovered by a fisherman, tangled in an old fishing net. However, the autopsy revealed a more disturbing detail. Jamie had several bruises and scratches on his arms and legs, suggesting he had struggled with something before drowning. Locals whispered about the ghost of a woman who was said to pull swimmers underwater, a legend dating back to when the lake was first created, flooding entire towns and graveyards. Jamie's death remains a mystery, adding to the eerie reputation of Lake Lanier, where accidents and strange occurrences continue to plague the waters. In the summer of 1985, a road trip through the Nevada desert turned deadly for a group of friends who picked up a mysterious hitchhiker. The encounter left an indelible mark on those who survived, and the desert road is still haunted by tales of their ordeal. Four friends, Mark, Lisa, Sarah, and Jason, were on a cross-country road trip, eager to explore the western United States. One hot afternoon, as they drove through a remote stretch of highway in Nevada, they saw a hitchhiker by the side of the road. He looked disheveled but harmless, and against Jason's protests, they decided to offer him a ride. The hitchhiker introduced himself as Dan and claimed he was heading to a town down the road. Initially, the ride was uneventful, but as night fell, Dan's behavior became increasingly erratic. He mumbled to himself and seemed to know details about the friends that he couldn't possibly know. Growing uneasy, Mark decided to drop him off at the next rest stop. However, before they could reach one, Dan demanded they pull over, becoming aggressive and threatening. Fearful for their lives, they complied. As soon as the car stopped, Dan lunged at Jason, who was driving. In the ensuing struggle, the car swerved off the road and crashed. Miraculously, everyone survived the crash, but Dan was thrown from the vehicle and killed instantly. Shaken, the friends contacted the police, who arrived and conducted an investigation. They were horrified to learn that Dan was a fugitive wanted for multiple murders and had been hitchhiking to evade capture. The police warned them that Dan's spirit was rumored to haunt the desert, seeking revenge on those who had wronged him. Months later, Sarah and Mark both reported seeing a figure resembling Dan in their homes. and strange occurrences plagued the survivors. The desert road where the incident happened remains a source of ghost stories, with travelers reporting sightings of a hitchhiker who vanishes into thin air.